Lights are out. We're going green flag racing right here off of turn number 4. They got to be side by side at the cone. That's Trace Manise and Ryan Barnes, your front row. Current point leader so far here in the 2023 campaign, that is Cody Sly. We'll see Cody Sly in heat race number 3. Right now, it's all about Trace Manise, Ryan Barnes, Jesse Bowles, Trenton Millard, and Alexis Blankenship. Green flags in the air, and here we go. Manise leads them down to the bottom side into turns 1 and 2. Ryan Barnes right through the middle. Here comes around the outside. Here comes Trenton Millard. Millard staying into the number 3 spot, now trying to do a crossover move. Here comes a big shove of the nose of the 44 of Jesse Bowles. Gets into the door of Trenton Millard. Bowles will go up into P3, but leading lap number 1, the 30 machine of Trace Manise. From right here in Bakersfield, California, Ryan Barnes in the number 2 spot, side by side for third as they go into 3. Millard takes the 3 spot away from the 44 of Jesse Bowles. Alexis Blankenship still rounding out the field. 2 laps down, 6 laps remaining. Manise by 6 cars down the back straightaway over Ryan Barnes. Barnes now getting a rear view mirror full of the 29 machine of Trenton Millard. Trenton looking for his first win here in 2023. Millard all the way down to the bottom side, now searching for some speed, trying to get to the backside of that 79 of Ryan Barnes as he slips up just a bit off of turn number 2. Trace Manise, nice and smooth through 3 and 4. Gets a little tight right there off of 4 in the Terry Henry's Race Prep number 30 machine. As we're at the halfway point, 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining. Alexis Blankenship now taking a peek to the inside of the 44 of Jesse Bowles. Blankenship with the move puts her up in a P4. Now we've got a 3-car battle for the lead at the line. Trenton Millard now takes a peek underneath Manise into turns 1 and 2. It's going to be Millard off of turn number 2, but Manise is not going away. Trace Manise on the outside. Trenton Millard right on the bottom, a little bit tight for the 29 machine. He slips up right in front of Trace Manise. We've got a new leader. It's Trenton Millard. Millard off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway, trying to put some space between himself and Manise. We'll get the white flag this time by 4 more corners for the 29 machine, the McCaslin Racing entry, Trenton Millard. Over the 30 of Trace Manise, Ryan Barnes, Alexis Blankenship, and Jesse Bowles looks like is going to make his way off into turn number 1. But off of turn number 4, the number 29 machine, Trenton Millard, he picks up the heat race win. Trace Manise gets by the 79 of Ryan Barnes, and Alexis Blankenship rounding out the field. So you can see over here in turn number 4, you can see the 29 machine. He'll make his way down to the roller for a post-race tech. So you can see him. You come down, you got Jimmy Irwin and James Dump Cecil. We'll put the car on the roller. And these are one-leggers, if you will. So only one-wheel drive for the American Stock Division. They do not have a locked-up rear end. So that is the purpose of putting them up on the roller. As he revs it up and it doesn't go anywhere, it is good. Trenton Millard picks up the heat race win. That'll put us in the heat race number 2 on the point from right here in Bakersfield. The 1 machine of Colby Ward to his outside. The 25cc of Carson Conway. Inside row number 2, the L787. That's Brock Crawford to his outside. The Bakersfield Bullet. Nick Spainhoward in the in too deep. In row number 3, all by his lonesome, the 28C of Eric Simmental. So another 5-car heat for heat race number 2. 8 laps still the distance. Keep your eyes on that 28C of Eric Simmental. That young man is making his debut here in 2023. Showed up in a big way. He was about 7/10 of a second faster than any other car in the hot lap sessions. So we'll see what he can do right here in heat race number 2. So, lineup is good. We're showing them 1 to go this time by your front row. Colby Ward, Carson Conway. Row number 2, Brock Crawford, Nick Spainhoward, and Eric Simmental. A lot of heavy hitters right here in heat race number 2. That Craig Hawk Racing Into Deep machine has been up front all year long. First race of the year, the outlaw Ricky Childress Jr. was behind the wheel of that Into Deep machine, picking up the win. Brock Crawford, he's got a couple of top threes in that Into Deep machine. Now we've got the Bakersfield Bullet. Nick Spainhoward behind the wheel. We'll see what he can get done in that Into Deep machine as we have a nice, slow pace down the back straightaway with Kobe Ward and Carson Conway on the front row. Creeping pace as they come to the cone right here off of turn number 4. Randy Schweitzer in the birdcage throws the green flag, and here we go. Heat race number 2. Carson Conway right through the middle, tries to get an RPM run, but it's going to be Colby Ward off of 2 side-by-side. Drag race into 3 for the lead. Carson Conway, nice and straight right through 3 and 4. He'll lead lap number 1. Colby Ward, the number 2 spot. Nick Spainhoward, Brock Crawford, and the 28C of Eric Simmental. Carson Conway down to the bottom side into turns 3 and 4, brings Colby Ward with him. Nick Spainhoward to his outside. Spainhoward up into P2. Nick Spainhoward now taking a peek to the outside of Carson Conway for the lead down the back straightaway. Into 3 and 4, we got a battle for the top spot. Conway gets a little bit tight. Spainhoward has to get on the binders. Now here comes Eric Simmental to the inside. 3 wide going into turn number 1. 3 wide and make it 4 wide. Nick Spainhoward threads the needle down the back straightaway. What a great move from the Into Deep driver, Nick Spainhoward, up into the top spot on lap number 4. Here comes Simmental in P2 in the 28C machine. Spainhoward, Simmental, Kobe Ward. That's your top 3. Carson Conway now side by side with the L787 of Brock Crawford down the back straightaway. Spainhoward and Simmental still 1 and 2 side by side for third as they go into turns 1. Brock Crawford on the inside. Kobe Ward to his outside. 5 laps down, make it 6 this time by for the Bakersfield Bullet. Nick Spainhoward out front, Eric Simmental. He's got a lot of speed in that Skinny's Automotive number 28C machine. Spainhoward with a great set of corners over there in turns 1 and 2. Put some space between himself and the 28C of Eric Simmental. White flag in the air one more time around. Simmental taking a peek to the inside of Spainhoward. He is right there, but great momentum for the Into Deep machine down the max straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag will fly this time off of turn number 4. The Bakersfield Bullet. Nick Spainhoward picks up heat race number 2. Eric Simmental, the number 2 spot over Brock Crawford, Colby Ward, and Carson Conway. Now the Into Deep machine of Nick Spainhoward will make his way to post-race tech right here on the inside of turn number 4. We'll put him on the roller. Here he goes, up on the roller. Takes his foot off the brake. Gives it the throttle. And just like that, Nick Spainhoward, it's official, picks up the heat race number 2 win for the Craig Hawk Racing Into Deep machine. And just like that, that'll set us up for heat race number 3. So once again, a great showing for the American stocks here with 19 cars through the back gate for the division. This has been a very stout class all year long so far. I believe this might be the first night we haven't had 20-plus cars for the American stock division. So great to see. So heat race number 3 will line up like this on the point. The 58T of Troy Thomas Jr., who is outside. The 23 of Hayden Morrison. Inside of row number 2, the 8 machine of Tori Seveson. 2 are outside the 68S of Sonny Simpkins. And in row number 3, all by his lonesome, will be the 74 of Cody Sly. So our lineup is good. We'll be showing them one to go this time by. Your current point leader is that 74 machine, the Golden Empire Towing. Entry for Cody Sly, currently sitting in the top spot in the points championship. Sonny Simpkins in that Motor City Throwdown 68S machine. She has already picked up a win here in 2023. Picked up her first win here at our home track here in Bakersfield, California. All-American Glass, Skinny's Automotive on the side of that Motor City Throwdown, number 68S for Sonny Simpkins. And I always love to say it, that young lady has put that body together all by her lonesome. And that is a beautiful-looking race car for Sonny Simpkins. So, lights are out. We're going green flag racing right here off of 4. Troy Thomas Jr., Hayden Morrison. That's your front row. Green flag is in the air. Troy Thomas Jr. Great start for the 58 T machine of Troy Thomas Jr. Tori Stevenson up in the number 2 spot. Here comes Sonny Simpkins to the inside of Hayden Morrison going into turn number 3. Lap 1's going to go to the 58T of Troy Thomas Jr. Troy up to the high side into turns 1 and 2. Tori Stevenson right through the middle. Sonny Simpkins on the bottom side. Here comes Cody Sly side by side with Simpkins into 3. Troy Thomas Jr., Tori Stevenson, Cody Sly, Sonny Simpkins, that's your top 4. Good side-by-side battle going on between the 74 and the 68 machine. But Cody Sly, now he's got the advantage, looking to the outside of Stevenson into 3 and 4. Tori Stevenson right through the middle. Cody Sly on the high side. Sonny Simpkins down on the bottom side. Here comes the crossover from the 74 of Cody Sly. Cody Sly with a little slider in 3 and 4. Tori Stevenson back to his inside. But it's going to be Sly by a nose right there at the stripe. We're at the halfway point. 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining. It's been all Troy Thomas Jr., but here comes the 74 of Cody Sly. Sly taking a peek to the inside of the 58T machine. All over his backside, going into turns 1 and 2. Troy Thomas Jr. now side by side with Cody Sly, your point leader into 3 and 4. Sly with the slider in turn number 3. Troy Thomas Jr. taking a peek back down to the inside. It's going to be Cody Sly that time by. Troy Thomas tried a slider of his own, but not able to clear the 74 machine of Cody Sly. Sly has the advantage with the white flag in the air this time by. Sly, Troy Thomas Jr., Sonny Simpkins, and Tori Stevenson. Down the back straight into turn number 3 for the final time. The Golden Empire Towing number 74. Cody Sly picks up heat race number 3 over Troy Thomas Jr., Sonny Simpkins, Tori Stevenson, and Hayden Morrison. So now you know the drill. Cody Sly will make his way down to turn number 4 to put him on the roller to make it official for heat race number 3. So Cody Sly having a fantastic 2023. He picked up the win last week, just 7 days ago, in that Golden Empire Towing number 74 machine, picking up right where he left off in the winner's circle. So he picks up the heat race win. Let's see if he can do a clean sweep here tonight. So, gets up on the roller, revs it up, and just like that, Cody Sly makes it official, picking up heat race number 3. Now cars are making their way on track for our 4th and final heat race for the American Stock Division. Miranda Scott, she'll be on the point. Drake Mead in the 9-9 machine. Outside row number 1, inside row number 2, the 69X of Tyler Weeks to his outside, the 75W of Brandon Wolford. So 4 cars here in heat race number 4 for the American Stock Division. So as we have Brandon Wolford out there in the 75W machine, big time shout out to Samantha Wolford. Happy birthday, happy 35th birthday for Samantha Wolford. So lineup is good. We're showing them a 1 to go this time by Miranda Scott. She's currently sitting second in points. She's on the point here for heat race number 4. Brandon Wolford to her outside. Tyler Weeks, the 69X machine, and the 99 of Drake Mead. So it looks kind of like a dash for cash on that back straightaway. 4 cars, 8 laps is the distance for here. Heat race number 4. Taking a peek, Jimmy Irwin as they go off of turn number 4. A little bit too anticipatory for the 74 machine, and we'll have to reset and try it once again. All right, so we got them reset. We'll try it once again. Miranda Scott and Drake Mead. It's up to 75W, excuse me. Brandon Wolford, Drake Mead is electing to start in the rear of the field. So Miranda Scott and Brandon Wolford. That's your front row. Tyler Weeks and Drake Mead. So 8 laps the distance here for heat race number 4. Nudge your neighbor, make that friendly wager. Who's going to pick up the heat race win? Will it be Miranda Scott? Will it be Brandon Wolford, Tyler Weeks, or Drake Mead in his debut in that 99 machine? Green flags in the air. Heat race number 4, the American Stock Division. Brandon Wolford on the outside. Miranda Scott right through the middle. Here comes the 69 of Tyler Weeks to her inside. It's going to be Scott down the back straightaway. Big time ponies underneath the hood of the Terry Henry's Race Prep number 74M machine as she leads him into 3 and 4. Miranda Scott takes lap number 1 over the 69X of Tyler Weeks, Brandon Wolford, and the 99 of Drake Mead. Miranda Scott off of turn number 4 leads lap number 2. 1.4 second advantage for the 74M machine over Tyler Weeks, Brandon Wolford, and Drake Mead. Three laps down this time by 5 laps remaining for the 74M machine. Tyler Weeks still in the number 2 spot over Brandon Wolford and Drake Mead. No change in your running order. They are spaced out nice and evenly right now. The difference 1.9 seconds from Miranda Scott to Tyler Weeks, who's got 2.0. Back to Brandon Wolford and Drake Mead. 2 seconds back from the 75W machine. As we're at the halfway point. 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining in heat race number 4. Miranda Scott this time by her lap time. 17.718. 17.718 for Miranda Scott. 18.026 for Tyler Weeks. Brandon Wolford clicks off an 18.899 and 19.124 for the 99 of Drake Mead. 6 laps down, 2 laps remaining this time by for Miranda Scott. White flag will be in the air this time for the 74M machine, Miranda Scott. And that Ethan Dotson Racing Terry Henry's Race Prep 74M machine. Nice and smooth through 1 and 2. That is a good-looking setup on the 74 for Miranda Scott. She walks down the back straightaway. Into 3 for the final time for heat race number 4. The 74M Miranda Scott picks up the heat race win. Tyler Weeks in the number 2 spot. Here comes that 75W machine, Brandon Wolford. Rounds out your top 3 over the 99 of Drake Mead. That is going to do it for the American stocks here tonight. So our fourth and final car making her way to the roller, the 74M. That is Miranda Scott. So she's up on the roller, foot off of the brake pedal. And that's going to make it official. Miranda Scott picks up the heat race win. So congratulations to all four of our heat race winners for the American Stock Division. Just like that, we're into IMCA Northern Sport Mod heat race number 1. So cars start to take formation. Our lineup will look like this for heat race number 1. Ryan Olds in the 1R machine on the point to his outside. The 4M of Emily Van Hoff. Inside row number 2, the 96 of Brock Crawford to his outside. The 11B of Brian Baker. Inside row number 3, the 17A machine of Adam Baker to his outside. The P51 of Parker McContie. And in row number 4, all by his lonesome, the 18C. That's Chris McKellar. So your front row, the 1R machine of Ryan Olds and the 4M of Emily Van Hoff. Looks like we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping right now. Going to pack the top side. So we'll get these cars out here rolling in the cushion, if you will, over there in turns 1 and 2. And 3 and 4, we've got a little bit of a cushion over there as well. So once again, another great racing surface here in Bakersfield, California. The Schweitzer Racing family puts it all together out here. So we're getting them lined up. Once again, Ryan Olds on the point. Emily Van Hoff from Chowchilla, California. On the outside of row number 1. Brock Crawford, that 96 machine. He's pulling double duties here tonight. Just got out of that Ronald Lookadoo L787 machine. Now hops behind the wheel of his own number 96 IMCA Northern Sport Mod. We'll see what he can do here in heat race number 1 for the division. 14 entries through the back gate for the IMCA Northern Sport Mods here tonight. Your current point leader for the IMCA Northern Sport Mods, that is the 51 machine. Big Dad Tyler Bannister. He's got 76 points. That's 7 points better than Dylan Wilson. In the 80D machine, we'll see both of those cars in heat race number 2. Matt Walcom sitting third in points over Levi Kiefer and David Pearson. So we're just having a little bit of technical difficulties up here in the tower. We're going to get these cars lined up a single file and get them to cross the line. So everything here is scored via electronic scoring. So all of these cars have transponders in them, and every time they cross the line, it's electronically scored up here, up in the tower. So right now you can see these cars single file. We're going to get them to cross the line with Ryan Olds, Emily Van Hoff, Brian Baker, Brock Crawford, the 17A of Adam Baker. That is the Baker brothers in those Razor chassis, the 11B and the 17A machine. All right, we got everything situated up here in the tower, so we're going to get them all crossed up. Ryan Olds, Emily Van Hoff, Brock Crawford, Brian Baker, Adam Baker, Parker McContie, and Chris McKellar. All right, lights are out. We're going green flag racing heat race number 1, IMCA Northern SportMods. Ryan Olds on the point that on it chassis. One-arm machine gets it up on the bar. Side by side with Emily Van Hoff right here off of turn number 4. Green flags in the air, and here we go. Olds down on the bottom side. Emily Van Hoff right through the middle, bringing Baker with him on the outside. Emily Van Hoff leads him into turns 3 and 4. She gets a little bit tight. Here comes the 11B machine of Brian Baker. Brian Baker down to the inside, looking at a little bit of a slider, but Van Hoff is there, side by side for the lead down the back straightaway. Baker goes deep into turns 3 and 4. Slider served from the 11B of Brian Baker. Van Hoff back to his inside. Emily Van Hoff keeping the 11B of Brian Baker on us. Baker goes around in turn number 2. Great heads up driving through the field. Caution flag will fly. Brian Baker all by his lonesome got it wrong in turn number 2. Around he goes and brings out our first caution of the night. So Emily Van Hoff from Chowchilla, California. That young lady is doing a fantastic job here in heat race number 1 for the IMCA Northern SportMod division. So, looks like the 11B of Brian Baker, he'll make his way off of the racing surface. That will leave us with 6 cars with Emily Van Hoff out in front over Ryan Olds, Brock Crawford, the 96 machine, Adam Baker, the 51. That is Parker McConty from Bulletin, California. So, great to see some new faces. And Parker McConty making his debut here at the Bakersfield Speedway. Good-looking race car right there sitting in the 5th position. Green flag is in the air. Here we go. Van Hoff, Olds, 1 and 2. Brock Crawford in the number 3 spot. Crawford around the outside. Here comes Adam Baker now. Adam Baker to the inside of Ryan Olds. He'll take over P3. As we come to the line this time by, here comes the 18 of Chris McKellar and Ryan Olds. They make contact off of turn number 4. All the way up the hill, Brock Crawford tickling the tail feathers on the fence. Here comes Crawford now with a crossover move. Looks to the inside of Van Hoff. Down the front straightaway, Emily Van Hoff. Right through the middle, Brock Crawford on the extreme low side, trying to get around the 4 machine. Will it be Brock Crawford at the line this time by? It's going to be Brock Crawford over Emily Van Hoff. Adam Baker in the 18C of Chris McKellar. Adam Baker now, he's taking a peek to the outside. Slips up just a little bit. The incognito on it chassis, 18C of Chris McKellar, all the way down on the bottom side, side by side. Great 3-car battle for second as Brock Crawford is starting to run away. Brock Crawford has a sizable lead over that battle going on for second, third, and fourth with a white flag in the air. Who will take over P2? It looks like the 96 of Brock Crawford's going to run away with this one with a straightaway lead as he goes into turn number 3 for the final time off of turn number 4. Brock Crawford picks up the heat race win. It's going to be Emily Van Hoff over Chris McKellar and Adam Baker. What a race right there for third. Second, third, and fourth. My, oh my, what a great run for IMCA Northern SportMod heat race number 1. Congratulations, Brock Crawford, that 96 machine. Great battle from second, third, and fourth. Emily Van Hoff getting the better of the 18C of Chris McKellar and Adam Baker. So here they come, heat race number 2. As they make their way to the racing surface, we'll go through our lineup. Our lineup will look like this. On the point, the 316 of Kenny White to his outside, the 74 of Levi Kiefer. Inside of row number 2, that's the 80D of Dylan Wilson to his outside, the 51 of Tyler Bannister. Inside of row number 3, we'll pick up the 15F machine of Matthew Frazier to his outside, the 17B of Stephen Blankenship. And in row number 4, all by his lonesome, the 13C of Nick Kaufman. So Kenny White, the 316 machine, he's on the point. The 74 of Levi Kiefer, calling Bakersfield, California home. To his outside, Dylan Wilson. Dylan Wilson making the jump up from the hobby stock division up to the IMCA Northern Sport Mod, and that car has been picking up speed every single time he comes out. He is improving. For Dylan Wilson, looking for his first win. But the most dominating driver for the IMCA Northern Sport Mods in California is that 51 machine of Big Dad Tyler Bannister. And the Central California Clash. That young man went 4 for 4. 4 different nights, 4 different racetracks, 4 A main event victories for the 51 of Tyler Bannister. So, lights are out. We're going green flag racing right here off of turn number 4. Kenny White and Levi Kiefer. That is your front row. Dylan Wilson, Tyler Bannister, Matthew Frazier, Stephen Blankenship, and Nick Kaufman. So it looks like Frazier electing to start in the rear of the field as the green flag comes out. Here we go, heat race number 2, IMCA Northern Sport Mods. Dylan Wilson down off the bottom side. Levi Kiefer's going to lead him down the back straight into turn number 3. Wilson on the bottom side. Kenny White right through the middle. Levi Kiefer and that Ethan Dotson Racing Golden Empire Towing number 74 machine leads lap number 1. Dylan Wilson all over his inside. Kiefer all the way on the outside. Here comes Wilson with a little small slider. Slides himself off of turn number 4. Side by side for third, it's the 51 of Bannister and the 316 of Kenny White battling down the back straightaway. Give the spot to the 51 of Bannister. It's still Kiefer and Wilson 1 and 2. Bannister in the number 3 spot over Kenny White, the 13C of Nick Kaufman, rounding out your top 5. Here comes Wilson taking a peek to the inside of the 74 of Levi Kiefer. Kiefer's going to hold it at the halfway point. 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining. The 74 machine of Kiefer still has that ADD of Dylan Wilson all over his backside. Kiefer, Wilson, and Bannister, your top 3. 5 laps down, make it 6 next time by. Levi Kiefer for the Ethan Dotson Racing Golden Empire Towing Racing Stables leads lap number 6 this time by. 2 laps remaining. Kiefer, Wilson, and Bannister, that's still your top 3. No change up front. A little bit of a slip up from Wilson. Here comes the 51 of Tyler Bannister. Bannister now switching lanes, going to the high side over in 3 and 4 with a white flag in the air this time by. It's still Kiefer, Wilson, and Bannister. Kiefer all the way up to the high side, down the back straightaway. Checkered flag in the air. It's going to be Levi Kiefer over Dylan Wilson. Tyler Bannister, Kenny White, the 13C of Nick Kaufman, Matthew Frazier, and rounding out the field, the 17B of Stephen Blankenship. So congratulations for the 74 machine of Levi Kiefer. Getting it done here in IMCA Northern Sport Mod Heat Race number 2. Now, coming up next will be our California Lightning Sprint Heat Race number 1. Race number 1 on the point. It's John Robertson in the 42 machine to his outside. The 45 of Cody Nye. Aiden Lang in the 13X on the inside of row number 2 to his outside. The 41 of Shane Sexton. Inside row number 3, the 21K of Jarrett Kramer to his outside. The 57 of Connor Spear. Inside of row number 4, the 23 machine of Clay Byers to his outside. The 32 of Ken Colston. Green flags in the air. California Lightning Sprint Heat Race number 1. Cody Nye looking for the RPM run down the back straightaway, but it's going to be John Robertson on the inside of turns 3 and 4. Robertson will lead lap number 1. Cody Nye, the number 2 spot over Aiden Lang and Jarrett Kramer. Kramer gets underneath the 23 machine of Lang. He'll pick up the P2 or P3 spot down the back straightaway. It's still Robertson. Cody Nye gets a little bit of a bobble over there in 3 and 4. Kramer has to get on the binders. Here comes Spear to the outside of the 32 machine. Connor Spear. That was your quick time qualifier. But right now out front, it is all John Robertson in the 42 machine. Robertson, Cody Nye. Aiden Lang now taking a peek to the inside of the 21K of Jarrett Kramer. Robertson, Nye, Kramer, and Lane. That's your top 4. John Robertson still in the number 1 spot over Cody Nye. 1 and 2, Kramer and Lang still battling for that top 3 spot. 5th is still the 32 machine of Ken Colston, Connor Spear, and the 41 rounding out the field of Shane Sexton. We got a battle for second now, developing into turns 3 and 4. As the white flag's in the air this time by John Robertson with a 1.2 second advantage over Cody Nye, Jarrett Kramer, and Aiden Lang. Into 3 off of turn number 4. John Robertson leads it from wire to wire. Picks up heat race number 1 for the California Lightning Sprints over Cody Nye, Jarrett Kramer, Aiden Lang, Ken Colston, Connor Spear, Shane Sexton, and Clay Byers. And that will do it for heat race number 1, California Lightning Sprint Cars. And just like that, that'll set us up for heat race number 2. And as cars make their way out on track, on the point will be Cody Griggs in the 56 machine to his outside, the 97 of Leland Day. Inside of row number 2, the 4 machine of Seth Dyer to his outside, the 4 of Jeff Dyer. Bobby McNovich in the 21X on the inside of row number 3 to his outside, the 8G of Eric Greco. And the 02 machine of Pat Kelly. He'll be rounding out the field. And that will be our 7 cars going 8 laps for heat race number 2. Problems right here for the 8G machine of Eric Greco over here in turn number 1. So these cars do have starters on them. Oh, you could see something. Looks like maybe a drive shaft was picked up right there on the front straightaway. So that might do it for the 8G machine of Eric Greco here in the heat race. So hopefully he will be able to make repairs on that machine and come out for the A feature later on in the evening. So we'll get Greco pushed down to the infield. And the rest of the cars, we got 6 cars remaining with the 56 still machine. Cody Griggs on the point. Leland Day to his outside. Seth Dyer and Jeff Dyer. The father-son duo right there in row number 2. Bobby McNovich and Pat Kelly. Showing them one to go this time by. Cody Griggs on the point for heat race number 2. So Cody Griggs in that 56 machine picked up his very first victory just a couple of weeks ago. And now he's on the point right here in heat race number 2. Green flags in the air. Here we go. Leland Day around the outside. It's going to be Griggs down the bottom side. Cody Griggs like a rocket ship down the back straightaway as it goes to turns 3 and 4. Leland Day side by side with Jeff Dyer. Here comes that 21X machine, Bobby Mignovich, up to the point early. Off of turn number 4, leads lap number 2 over Griggs in the number 2 spot. Jeff Dyer, Seth Dyer, and Leland Day. Bobby Mignovich all the way around the bottom side. You can see the dark dirt down there. That's where all the traction is, down on the bottom side in 3 and 4. Mignovich putting those left rear tires in the good stuff in 1 and 2. Great battle going on between Seth Dyer and the 97 machine, Leland Day, back there for P4. Mignovich with a 1.6 second advantage over Jeff Dyer, Leland Day, Seth Dyer, Pat Kelly, and Eric Greco breaking out early. Bobby Mignovich, one of the winningest drivers in California Lightning Sprint Car history. He is out front with a straightaway lead over the 56 machine of Cody Griggs. So we'll get the white flag next time by for the 21X machine. Mignovich off of 4, white flag in the air, 4 more corners away. You can hear that thing revved up. That thing is hooked up and moving here tonight. Cody Griggs still in the number 2 spot over Jeff Dyer, Leland Day, Seth Dyer, Pat Kelly. And Bobby Mignovich picks up the heat race win. Cody Griggs comes home in the number 2 spot over Jeff Dyer. Here comes Leland Day in the 97 machine. Seth Dyer coming home in the number 5 spot. And rounding out the field, the 02 of Pat Kelly. That will do it for our California Lightning Sprint heat races here tonight. So keep your eyes on Bobby Mignovich. That man is on a mission. Coming up next will be our first heat race, IMCA Modifieds. So the ground pounders are making their way to the racing surface, our 4th and final division of heat races coming at you, concluding with the IMCA Modifieds. IMCA Modified heat race number 1 out on the track. On the point, it's going to be the 51G of G-Money, Gavin Manning to his outside, the 10 in of the Sandman, Rob Sanders inside of road number 2, the 07X of Troy Morris III to his outside, the 5W of Larry Wise. And row number 3, all by his lonesome, the 16X of Charles Paul. We are showing them 1 to go this time by. We're going IMCA Modified heat race number 1 off of turn number 4. G-Money, Gavin Manning, looking for his second feature of the year. But he's got to get through heat race number 1. A lot of heavy hitters right here. The Sandman, Rob Sanders, to his outside as the green flag is in the air. Heat race number 1. Gavin Manning down on the bottom side, tiptoeing off of turn number 2. Here we got 07X of Troy Morris, the 3rd, side by side with Rob Sanders into turn number 3. give the spot to the 07X of Troy Morris Jr. Gavin Manning off of turn number 4 leads lap number 2. This time by over the 07X of Troy Morris III, the Sandman Rob Sanders, Larry Wise, and the 16X of Charles Paul. Nice and smooth for the 51G of Gavin Manning. He's got a big lead over the 07X of Troy Morris III. As we're at the halfway point, 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining. Right now the difference, 1.7 seconds. That is the difference from Gavin Manning back to Troy Morris III. Almost a 2-second advantage for the 51G machine. Little bit sideways for the 07X of Troy Morris III. Over there in turns 1 and 2, the Sandman Rob Sanders not able to pounce on the opportunity of a bobble from the 07X machine. So Gavin Manning will get the white flag this time off of turn number 4, the 51G machine. G-Money, Gavin Manning with the white flag in the air, this time by Troy Morris the third in the number 2 spot, over to the Sandman Rob Sanders, Larry Wise, and the 16 of Charles Paul. Into 3 off of turn number 4, checkered flag in the air, G-Money, Gavin Manning picks up the heat race win. Troy Morris the third in the number 2 spot, over Rob Sanders, Larry Wise, Charles Paul rounding out the field. So, G-Money, Gavin Manning getting it done in heat race number 1 for the IMCA Modifieds. And that will take us to our final heat race of the night. 5 cars once again, 8 laps the distance for heat race number 2. On the point, the number 91 machine of Michael Scruggs to his outside, the 3 of Dylan Potter. Inside row number 2, it's Brian Clark in the 51B to his outside, the 15P of Andrew Pierce. In row number 3, all by his lonesome, will be the 17B of Tyler Blankenship. Oh no, problems for the 3 machine of Dylan Potter from Orchid, California. Comes to a halt over in turn number 3. So it looks like Bill Potter will be able to continue. So Dylan Potter will be on the outside of row number 1 with Michael Scruggs from Porterville, California on the point. Brian Clark, Andrew Pierce, Tyler Blankenship. Tyler Blankenship once again making the bump up from the IMCA Northern SportMod division up to the big boys in the A-Mod. Great looking race car. That's the old Rickenback Racing C9 machine. So great piece underneath the seat of that 17B machine for Tyler Blankenship. Scruggs and Potter, your front row right here off of turn number 4. Heat race number 2, IMCA modifies. Green flags in the air, and here we go. Scruggs right down the bottom side. Potter right through the middle. Is going to be side by side. Drag race down the back straightaway. Dylan Potter right through the middle, floats up the hill. It's going to be Potter by a nose at the stripe over Scruggs. Potter and Scruggs side by side. Here comes Brian Clark taking a peek underneath the 91 machine. Can't make it stick that time by. Here comes Andrew Pierce from Oakley, California around the outside. Pierce now all over the backside of the 3 of Dylan Potter. Potter, Pierce, Scruggs, Blankenship now making a move on Michael Scruggs down the back straightaway. Dylan Potter has the advantage, but Andrew Pierce is all over his backside. We'll be at the halfway point this next time by with our leaders going down the back straightaway, Dylan Potter and Andrew Pierce. Potter and Pierce, 1 and 2. Scruggs with a rear view mirror full of the 17B and the 51B. Brian Clark and Tyler Blankenship trying to find a way around that 91 of Michael Scruggs, but out front we got a battle for the lead. Dylan Potter and Andrew Pierce, 5 laps down, 3 laps remaining. Blankenship gets underneath the 91 of Scruggs. We've got a new guy up in P3. It's Tyler Blankenship in the 17B. Potter and Pierce still 1 and 2. Here comes Tyler Blankenship in the number 3 spot. Michael Scruggs bumps down to the number 4 spot over the 51B of Brian Clark. Off of turn number 4, white flag in the air. Dylan Potter, 4 corners away from picking up his first race win here in 2023. It's Potter, Pierce, and Blankenship, your top 3. Potter right around the bottom side with Andrew Pierce in the number 2 spot. Checkered flag in the air. Heat race number 2 goes to Dylan Potter. Pierce, second. P3 going to the 17B of Blankenship over Brian Clark. And the 91 of Michael Scruggs. So that will do it for all of our heat races here tonight. So congratulations once again, Dylan Potter. Get it done from Orchid, California. IMCA Modified Heat Race number 2 winner.